welcome to the second in our videos where we're looking at the MCE analytics engine with its new front-end UI, improved front-end just to make it easier to use. So this is the second video which will be looking at the widget graphs. Last time when we logged in using the MCE demo account, which is all available or details on the MCE demonstration page on our main meniscus.co.uk website. So last time we looked at all the setup details. I won't go through that again. We also looked at some of the graphing options that you've got within the dashboard. So this time we're just going to look at the widgets. Now this part of the widget page is actually available as a separate web page if you want, but we also integrated it into this UI just for simplicity. And when it does that, it automatically picks up the API key from the user and it automatically connects you to the server. So those two steps you'd have to do manually if you loaded the page individually. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly run you through setting up a few graphs and then creating a relatively simple dashboard. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to create some real-time graphs. I'm just going to go in and get some data, which I know we've got raw data coming in. So that's the name of the item. It's raw data. The units for this are in watts, and we're going to add it as a gauge, and that requires a minimum and a maximum value. So the maximum I'm going to put as 2000 watts. We're going to set the date and time options as let's get it for the last 12 hours data. You can set a specific date and time if you want to, but then it won't be dynamic. And then the options, we're going to change this and update this every 2 minutes. So this gauge will update every 2 minutes when you get new data coming in. So I add that to the list, and I'm going to add number 3 to the list as well. Add that. That's got I've just changed that units to watts, and this has a slightly higher power sometimes. So sorry, so I'm going to just take that one off and add it back again, otherwise that would have been wrong. And then, so those are the two items I want, and then I output the HTML, and that's my gauge. So that's this is channel 1, and that's channel 2, channel 3, and this is the widget code that is embedded in an iframe. So if you just want to cut that out and paste it into an HTML page, that will work, so you can add it easily into your own applications. So we can add that to the dashboard, and we're just going to call that a gauge. Or we can call it what you want, but I'm just going to call it a gauge. So let's now go and create a not a scatter plot, a sparkline graph. We're going to look at getting the similar data, but this time we're going to get the aggregated half-hour data. So that's calculated data, it's in kilowatts, so that's converted from watts into kilowatts, and we're going to create a sparkline. So it doesn't need start max and mins. We will do this for the last 7 days, and we will get this updated every 6 hours, so it doesn't need to be updated that often. So we've got that, so we can now add that in. We can just go and do the same for number 3. We can go and get some temperature data as well. We can add that in. We've got temperature half hour. We can add that in, and let's go and add in one at the top, which is the average 3-hour moving average electricity use. So that will add in. So those are the 4 things I want to show on my sparkline. I'll put that as HTML. Those are my 4 parameters. It gives me the graphs, the average, and the name of those, and I'm just going to add that to the dashboard. I'm going to call it sparkline. Sparkline, not sparkling. Get the spelling right. Sparkline. So save that. So now if I go into my dashboard, I can just create a quick header. So just say this is a test widget dashboard. Add that, and then under my widgets I've got my gauge and sparkline, so I can just check on those, and if I want to change the size, I can change the size, mess around with the size, mess around with the placement. That's all automated, or you can, it's not automated, you can manually change it, and you've got quite a lot of configuration ability on that. And then we'll just go back and create another widget just to show that, let's do a scatter graph this time. So we just clear the item list. We're going to look at the average daily temperature. So this is calc data. Degrees centigrade is the units. We're going to get a scatter graph. What are we looking at? Date time options. So let's just increase that to 30. Oops. Sorry, 30. We'll do 30 days on that one. You can set fixed time ranges again if you want. You can also aggregate the data if you want to do that. You can aggregate it from half hourly up to hour, up to hour, 6 hourly, daily, etc. With those aggregation options, and we'll leave it on a 6-hour refresh rates. So if I add that item in and then the other one in, we're just going to look at regressing the total temperature with that. So that's total electricity use. So that's the total electricity use. This is done on a daily basis. So add that in, and that should be it. So that's my scatter graph. As temperature drops, I use more power, but this is obviously maybe a outlier over here, but it's giving you an idea, giving you an R squared, and not a particularly good R squared, and it just gives you the regression, the points you're getting as well. So just giving you an idea on that. There's a better scatter plot actually in these analytics up here if you want, where you can actually take out some of these points if you want to, if you consider this as an outlier. It probably isn't in this case, but you can take out outliers in up here. So I'll add that to the dashboard, just call it scatter, save that, go back into my dashboard and just add the scatter graph in. And now actually I just want to make it a bit longer, so that's it. So now I've got a test one, so that's not quite right. Anyway, I'll leave that. And so what we'll do now is you can just copy the HTML, download that, and if I open that as a download, that just gives me a complete HTML, and that's my dashboard created. So that gives me all the functionality I want to create bits and pieces. So let's close that one down. We can close that down. So that's basically my dashboard, all up and running, and creation of the widgets. So I hope that gives you an idea just how we envisage seeing these widgets used. I hope that's good, but we'll be running some more and creating some more videos over the next week or so on issues associated with MCE, now that things have improved and we've got this better UI for it. So thanks very much indeed for listening, and I hope you can join me on the next video. Thank you. Bye.